Hey guys, just finished watching Marvel's Inhumans Season 1, Episode 4, Make Way for Medusa. It's funny that here it has a 9 out of 10 rating on IMDb, but I feel like it probably had got all this before the show even came out or something, because there's no way a 9 out of 10 of an episode or anything like that. I mean, the CGI in this episode is not even, I was kind of paying attention to it while I was watching this show. To be honest, I was working on uploading my error review actually instead. But I was watching this as I was going through this and stuff, and it was pretty, just kind of get me entertained a little bit. Nice distraction and stuff. I mean, I would definitely say that if this was on Netflix, I would say, yeah, throw it on in the background. Marvel's Inhumans, if you want something to just drown out, just background, white noise type thing. This is the show for you for that and stuff. I mean, it's not like the Game of Thrones that we all wanted type thing. So, they have these awesome setups here with characters like Black Bolt and I forget the guy's name, but Black Bolt and Tin Face guy. I'm gonna call him Tin Man. We're gonna call him Tin Man. Tin Face guy, and it's just like, yes, this is where we're going to see. Even though the CGI has been terrible in this show, it's been not really good, not even as good as Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. There's I wanted to see him just even if Black Bolt was whispering, because a whisper, I feel like a whisper he did, the little grunt he did when he launched the cop car, which is in episode 1, and we haven't even seen anything since him use his power since then. I mean, there's so many opportunities. He was in prison once. It's like, oh, cool, he's gonna break out. He's gonna use his prison scare or something like that, or he's gonna get into a prison fight, and then it's gonna break a wall, and then everyone's gonna be free, and it's gonna be a riot and all that stuff. And I don't know. I just feel like with the little grunt that he was able to do in the IMAX movie first episode type of thing, it would be cool to see him be able to use that, just like Superman uses his heat vision type thing as a weapon. Like, what if he just went, and then just kind of whispered it, and then just did that, just things like that, little peeps, little sounds as little jabs. I think that would have been really cool. Now, I mean, if that guy with the metal helmet took off his helmet and Black Bolt yelled at each other and they both went face to face and their blast just hit each other like that, Black Bolt would just destroy everything and it would just go to nothing and it would be no one left. I mean, I feel like if Black Bolt screamed at the top of his lungs in the comics, it would half of the city of the island of Hawaii would just be gone, or most of it would be just flattened everything and stuff like that. So he couldn't really do that, but it would have been cool. And I don't think on this show, I don't think we're gonna get him to see. Maybe I'll be so shocked if at the last episode we get him yelling and it flattens, we get him screaming at this top of his lungs like we see in the comics and things like that, when he screams all out and stuff, just at a top, a scream that he would make anyone out of breath, not just him, you know what I mean, type thing, or out of breath, tired and stuff. So, I don't know if we're gonna get that in this show. I really want to see that. It'd be cool if that's the one thing that looks good in this thing, like they say their budget for the last episode or something. But in this episode, it would have been so cool to see the guy take off his helmet and then see him just kind of just say something or something, and just seeing their two powers go together. I mean, it would be cool to see him be able to use his powers in little different ways, how a little quiet sound, if he could whisper, if he just learned to whisper it so it's quiet sounds so quietly, but yet it could be the equivalent of, I don't know, I'm trying to think of different things. It would be equivalent of if he could try and bring his power down to the equivalent of a handgun or a shotgun blast type of thing, where he just whispers so quietly that it's like shooting a shotgun type of thing, or just a really powerful shotgun type of thing. I don't know. I think it would be cool to see that and see the different. If he was able to play with this, if he had a place when we were on Adelan, he could have had a place where he was testing things out and he was seeing what he can crush and what he can do with this and that. I mean, I don't know about the comics, because got to look it up to see if, was he able to, if he whispered into, if he spoke into, directly contact right into Captain America's shield, was the vibranium able to take care of it and disband that, I think it would be cool to see that. Is he able to break, in the comics, is he able to break Thor's hammer? Because I know in the comics he wasn't, Thanos was able to pick him up by the head, and he screamed it right at Thanos, and it didn't do anything. Took off all of his clothes, all of his armor and stuff like that, but Thanos was able to muffle him and hold in his power, so that really tells you how powerful Thanos is. I also know that in the comics, it always gets posted on those trivia Instagram accounts, he declared war once, and in doing so, he won. But I don't know. There's just so many opportunities of different things. Like, oh, now he's going to use it. Oh, no. Oh, there's an opportunity. Oh, no. Oh, and it's just nothing. So it's just, this show keeps on letting me down with all these setups that you don't go anywhere with anything. And it also drives me crazy that Medusa can't just grow back her hair. I mean, you Google it. Can Medusa in Marvel Comics control her hair? And it just says Medusa can grow and shrink her hair, and it says it right in there. You don't even have to click onto IMDb or anything, or you don't have to even go on Wikipedia or anything like that. Google straight up tells you that she can, in the comics, control her hair, how fast it grows, how fast it shrinks, and all that things like that. So I just find it annoying that she can't use her powers or anything like that. And that is one thing that kind of interests me, that they talked about in this episode, how, if he accidentally spoke while he's sleeping, how does he deal with that? And yet they brought up that question and they never did resolve it. They don't tell you how does he stop himself from speaking, having a dream, having a nightmare or whatever, and speaking in his sleep. I mean, I know it. I sleepwalk. I talk in my sleep, apparently all the time, the things I've said and stuff. So I don't understand, how does he not do that? Now, with Medusa, when she had her long hair, was that all was her hair able to protect her from that? Can her hair protect her from Black Bolt? If she's asleep, does her hair have a mind of her own, and it's making sure that Black Bolt can't, Black Bolt's scream can protect her? That is one thing that would be cool to see, is if as Medusa had her full-on hair and it completely wrapped it around herself like a cocoon, and he spoke to her, would her hair protect her from that? That would be something cool to check out. I guess that would be a Stan Lee question type of thing, or Stan Lee question. That would be cool. I would love to see him watching these shows and really sit down, in like a one-on-one, just be like, what do you think of this show? And I mean, obviously, I don't know if he's watching it or not. I don't think he's watching it, but I don't know. It's just this show is just very disappointing in every way. I'm just watching it now just for that scene will be cool. That scene out of context will be cool. That scene out of, whatever. But, it's just a disappointment every single time. So we'll see where things go with this. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, even the things going on with Crystal and this random person she's meeting is kind of silly. Oh, and what is it? Karnak meeting this weed on this weed farm and stuff type thing, and they're about to make love in a tent with no covers on it, just a tent with no nothing to block from the rain, nothing to block from all the two other people that are there. Now maybe she doesn't care or anything like that, but it's just kind of silly. Like, there's just an open tent with no cover. It just made no sense. And then the camera, it's like, okay, maybe the camera wants to see from the outside, but I mean, I don't know, it's just kind of silly. It was the whole why they were in that tent and why the tent had no, it just stood out for me like a sore thumb why it had no cover on it to protect from the rain. I mean, those things come with tents like that. It's like they put up the tent for the shot and decided not to put up the little tarp that comes with it, on purpose. It's very weird. I mean, if they're supposed to be living there, those guys, would they have a bigger tent than those little tents? I mean, those little tents are okay for one person, here and there, but if you're living there months on end, which it sounds like they're living there permanently, looks like it, they'd want bigger tents than that, even for permanent stuff, just to have their personal stuff away, especially as a female. She'd probably want a lot of her stuff, just left in there stuff. But I don't know, it's just kind of silly that it doesn't have a cover on the stupid tent like that. I know it's a weird thing to focus on, but I mean, it's just kind of, it stood out for me very bad, and it just kind of ruined that scene for me entirely, even though that part of the show is kind of just cut that out and Maybe just leave him unconscious from the first episode. Maybe he's still asleep somewhere and still in a coma. That would have been funnier, as if he was just, he'd fallen in the first episode and then he never woke up. That would have been way more, it would have been better use of story time. But yeah, this still just disappointing. So let me know if you're still watching this, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace out.
I'm Captain America, here to talk to you about one of the most valuable traits a soldier or student can have.
Subscribing.
Sometimes is the key to victory. Sometimes it leads to very little, and it seems like it's not worth it. And you wonder why you waited so long for something so disappointing. How many more of these?
You're still here.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, guys. Peace.
It's over.